Okay, so this is our first attempt at a Nikhil Kamath style What the Fuck podcast. So the first episode that we are shooting is What the Fuck is Real Software Engineering with four panelists. One of them will come later. The three of us here now will first of all start with our intros, and then after that we'll go into things, discovering tech, software engineering, how it goes with our life, where we stay and all that, and discuss everything that happens in between over the span of, based on the experience of us over the span of last year. Okay, so starting off with Mr. Rajesh Dalai, who is currently a senior software engineer in InMobi. So, whatever you do at InMobi, leave that for now. We'll do that later.
Yes.
Let's start with the journey from the beginning. When you graduated from IT Kharagpur.
Yeah, so basically, I graduated out of IT Kharagpur in 2015, and then like my first job was in Chennai in Cognizant, which is a service-based company. So as I joined there, the first thing that was there in my mind was to move to a product-based company. Product-based company. So basically, the culture there, the learnings there is not up to the mark. If you truly want to grow in a software engineering career, you have to go to a product-based company where actually the good work happens.
Are you saying in general or specifically about Cognizant?
No, it's like in general, like for all the service-based company, we can
so if
take that
you are
as a matter of fact.
building a product for a great tech company,
Yeah.
as a consultant in a service-based company, why would that be bad?
So there are a few service-based companies which are actually good. Like I recently encountered a few people from Sahaj Software, that is also a service-based company. It's a consulting firm, but they have like truly experts and like they solve difficult problems. So they are in a league of their own. So we don't have to like take them into this bracket.
What is Sahaj?
Sahaj Software.
Sahaj Software. It's Indian consultancy.
It's an Indian consultancy based out of Pune and Bangalore. So
not endorsed.
yeah. So like I'm mostly.
You are specifically talking about the which companies?
Which companies? Yeah, which consists of Wipro, Infosys, TCS, and all those companies. So they are not doing the cutting edge work.
Which companies?
Yeah, it's a acronym for them.
Which?
WTF.
12 companies.
Okay.
So it's Wipro,
Infosys, TCS, Cognizant, HCL.
HCL.
There are many more, but this is
But they don't fit that. Like we have
So we stopped at this.
Fang.
Like you have Fang, that this is the opposite end of this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was like there in my mind to move to a product-based company and do some actual good work and like learn the skills needed to become a good software engineer. So I joined there. I like learned whatever was possible there at work, and simultaneously I worked on my skills as well, and I developed those skills and then switched to a product-based company like after 1.5 years. So around 2017, I would say. 17, yeah. So in 2017, I joined a company called Uyala. So it's a Telugu name for Cradle. So that company, Cradle, yeah.
I think they meant it as Cradle of Innovation.
Cradle of Innovation, yeah, something like that, yeah. So basically,
but they have offices in US also, I guess.
Yes, they had offices world over. Like our team was directly managed from London.
Okay.
They had offices in UK also. There were multiple offices. It was a startup and like good enough startup, but got later acquired by a media company. So there I went into the media domain, and it was a product-based company. So they were into metadata management of media, building the media player for the companies which don't have their own media player. So they were like a media as a solution. And then I was working with the metadata management team. There I got to learn a lot of new technologies for backend. I developed my backend skills, Java skills there.
I think you mentioned me a long time back that the Java code that we have seen there is called the greenest.
Yes. That they had like it was a very structured company, process-oriented company. So everything they did from like Jira to like microservices, whatever was the best in standard or like process that time. So they followed all that. So code was quite clean, and like they had a lot of integration tests, unit tests, everything. So the best of software engineering that I had seen until now. They were very much process oriented. They didn't care how much time it took to deliver the product, but they made sure that it is of good quality. That was their first goal. So there I learned the best practices in coding and in general in software engineering and the processes
It
around.
must have helped you to go further.
Yes, definitely. So yeah, that was a good experience there. I stayed for like 1.5 years, and but then I had this itch of moving to Bangalore because as you know, Bangalore is the Silicon Valley of India, as they say, and Bangalore has a lot of like good talent if you consider software engineering and good companies to work for, cutting edge work going on, startups happening. So it's a cradle of innovation, like you mentioned earlier, true cradle of innovation. So was the major reason for me to move to Bangalore.
So
And
you're
apart
always
from that,
trying from day one to move to Bangalore eventually.
yes, that was my goal. Like in the long term, first goal was to move to a product-based company. Second was to move to the best place to work for in India. And then yeah, there was one more angle, a social angle, like my friends and my like relatives and all. They were also saying that was one more factor to move to Bangalore.
Anything that you feel that Chennai was better at?
Chennai was better as a city, like if you consider the infrastructure and the cost of living. So in those parameters, it was good. But
Maybe traffic also.
traffic-wise, also it was lesser compared to Bangalore. So Chennai is a place like is good for someone who wants to be like have a stable life, spend time with the family. They don't want to like be hustling every day. They want peace in their life because there is a beach.
Good work-life balance.
Good work-life balance. There is a beach. You can go and chill anytime. So it's a good place to be if you want stability in your life. But if you want to be, if you're ambitious, you want the best, and you want to grow fast, so Bangalore is the place to be. Definitely.
Do you think everyone is in Bangalore is hustling?
No, not everyone. Not everyone, but
balance.
the good thing is that here we have the options. Like if you want to chill, there is option to chill also.
Right.
Like there are some companies people just go and rest and vest. For example, this thing, Nvidia, and I think Google, Microsoft. They are places where like you have a good work-life balance, stability of career.
If you had bought a company in Chennai, which was hustling say that time.
Yes. Actually, there are companies like there is a IIT Madras incubator cell. So they do some.
Response is also from Chennai, right?
Freshers is from Chennai, Zoho is from Chennai, and there is the
What
IIT
is Chennai? Kerala?
Chennai. Yeah. So IIT Madras incubator cell is pretty good. Ether came out of it. So they are doing cutting edge work and research work. And if you are willing to put the hours, so there is a place where you can do that. So, but then like for me, like I felt I should have the option, and I felt there was a social angle missing there. So considering all those factors,
So you moved to
I
Bangalore.
moved to Bangalore and I joined Make My Trip. So Make My Trip was like a new domain for me, interesting domain, travel domain, and there I got to work on UI. So that was a completely new experience for me, and so like I always tried to optimize like to learn from all the skills in software engineering. So initially I learned backend engineering, and in Make My Trip I learned UI front end engineering. Then like in my current role in InMobi, I am working on data and ML ops. So trying to cover all the bases. Yeah, so that is what like I joined Make My Trip around 2019. Then like I worked there close to 2 years, and then 2021 I moved to InMobi.
And then you have been there.
I've been there since 5 years. Yeah, so it has been a good experience working across domains, working across technologies, working across different aspects of software engineering. That's all.
Yeah. Okay, we have lots of questions, but we'll come to that later. Thank you for the intro, Mr. Rakesh Sarangi. He is currently the engineering manager at Meesho. Yeah, please introduce yourself.
Hi everyone.
Low battery charge your phone.
Rakesh, and I'm currently working as an engineering manager in Meesho. I've spent around 6 years in Meesho now. I joined in 2019 when Meesho was very small, unknown startup, and I've seen Meesho grow and seen myself grow as well over the years. And now I'm working as in the logistics chapter of Meesho. And before that, I was in FICO. So Meesho is my second company. FICO is my college placement company. It's a fintech-based company. Which
I think it is into credit rating.
It's one of the products. Like every US citizen has a FICO score, which is similar to our civil score in India.
Right.
And FICO is the sole owner of that proprietary algorithm which creates a FICO score. That is their flagship product as well, and it has earned them millions of dollars over the years. But other than that, they have other software also, like.
And you joined FICO from your placement at Calgary, right?
Yes.
Again, that was a choice based on whatever you got at that point.
This was the first company that I cracked.
Yeah. And as for the KGP policy, once you get a job, you have to either reject it,
Yes.
or then accept it. I mean, you can have two jobs and
Can't
then
hold it.
Yeah. I think on the same day, if you have multiple offerings, then you can choose, but not on the next day. So I was rejected in the final round of housing, and on the same day. But FICO, I was able to crack it on day 3, so took that off. And the team that I was working in, it was basically they were basically looking at credit card transactions and flagging the ones that are suspicious. So I was working in FICO for 4 years, and then
you were ST1 2, I guess.
yeah, I got 2 promotions there. Every year I was promoted. So when I left FICO in 2019, I was already a lead software engineer. But that was FICO standards. When I came to Meesho, it looked like I was far from being a lead there. That was the real
before going to Meesho. So in FICO, you were getting promoted again, like out of sheer hard work, or like you were solving problems there, or like how was the experience there?
FICO, it was a typical 9 to 5 MNC.
Okay.
It had some talent, but with like average talent, I would say was not same as, let's say,
Startup.
startup or place with pedigree college. Most of the people there were from tier 2, tier 3 colleges, and it was a pretty.
So what different vibe you get there when you have tier 2, tier 3 colleges in general, not to stereotype, but when you say you didn't get that vibe, like how is that?
So one thing is like you get promoted every year without putting in the hard work. Like for me, it was pretty easy to be in the top 90%. Even
just by working average.
Just by working average. I didn't have to put in long hours. I went at 9 a.m., logged out at 4 p.m. And that's the time I could pursue my hobbies, do whatever I want to. No working after coming from office. Still, I was able to make a promotion almost every year, like every 1.5 years. Like contrary to Meesho, where like putting in the hard work, I have to put in the hard work to stay above average. That is pretty tough, and the competition is also tough. But that is one of the cons. But the pros is also like you are around smart people in Meesho, while in FICO you would feel that you are around dumb people.
I think
This statement is a little radical, but yeah.
But
I think Meesho is believing in that philosophy of high risk, high reward. If you are putting in the hours, they will reward you also very well.
Yes.
high effort, high reward.
High effort, high reward. Similar to I think Amazon Uber or all those companies. They also like they have very high expectations. If you're able to match it,
Yeah.
then you can like you will be rewarded
Hmm.
accordingly.
Right.
But to put a counter opinion perspective in life, see FICO in the work in FICO could be probably less because it's already established company. It has clients. It just has to maintain its products. So they can afford to pay you good or promote you without even making you work a lot as a company.
Right.
Now as an individual, say, had you stayed in FICO and you would have grown linearly, like you stayed getting promotion every year. Say it might change to 2 years, and once you get higher roles or 3 years. But see, after 10, 12 years, like at this point, had you been in FICO, you would have been at a pretty good role, I guess, with not so bad money also.
Yeah.
Maybe equity in FICO. If they're giving recurring
Right. Yeah. Like I think I have good comparison, but because one of my batchmates is still in FICO,
Okay.
so we can simply compare.
Okay.
So I
Yeah.
think it was your extended.
Yeah. Okay.
So he's currently
He's still in FICO.
Yeah. He was in the DevOps team, so he grew in that aspect, like became a DevOps platform engineer or something. Now, I think now he is let's say, best case scenario, he's a director of engineering now.
In DevOps. In
Yeah.
DevOps or like overall? I think DevOps.
Or like in DevOps, let's say.
DevOps.
In FICO. I think the director of engineering, the pay is pretty different. Like the director of engineering, Meesho.
Yeah, not exactly comparing the pay, it might be less than Meesho.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, yes, that is fine. I'm just saying that FICO was giving you, say, good compensation. Good can be different, subjective and all, but say it's good in terms of having a good life. Okay. And a good work-life balance, as you yourself said,
Yeah.
because of less work. So if someone takes that, not necessarily you, but if someone takes that decision in life to stay in FICO and not jump to a company like Meesho, will you recommend that, or will you say that it is not a good growth? Because ultimately, company is growing, he is growing, so he is also growing in a way.
Right, yeah. Yeah, if you're not bored, I jumped because I felt bored.
Something similar to Rajesh.
Something like I felt that I could do more.
Yeah.
I'm okay with going for a more fast-paced life. I wanted to taste that. But if someone is happy there, that's
You
fine.
can
Good company
Obviously,
to-
they'll have a lot of time to spend with their family, spend on their hobbies, spend on whatever they want to do, and still afford to live in Bangalore. Not an issue at all. Like, there are people in my senior batch who are from CS department who are still in FICO. Well, that's like 11 years, 12 years. They are like senior engineering managers there. But interestingly, he had approached me that he wanted to switch, and I had referred him in Meesho. He was outright rejected, not even interviewed. So that also is another angle that we should look at. That
That shows
staying
you how
here.
much you are missing out. If you stay.
Yeah, you're staying at 10 to 12 years in FICO. Like these companies like Meesho, they want either they get you early in, like in 4 or 5 years, but if they're looking for a senior role, they want to see some aspect of like you being in the fast-paced company.
Fast-paced company.
Like a
Having
person
solved
who
some-
has spent 10 to 12 years in FICO and wants to join as an engineering manager in Meesho, that is,
I think the resume will be rejected in those cases.
yeah.
So we also have something similar, like InMobi, it's a hidden secret or something you can say. They don't accept resumes from Microsoft and Adobe. So these companies are very senior negative, right? So they will not say you.
Is that chill?
They will not say you, yeah, because they are chill.
Oh.
And if you're
Why
working,
isn't Microsoft a fast-paced company?
no, that impression is like really damaged for Microsoft. Now they are trying to change that reputation, but before it was like a very chill company,
Maintenance mode.
type.
Right.
So basically, our companies are fast paced. They won't prefer people from these
Other
companies
companies.
unless you are like shining completely. You're very outstanding. Then they might consider. Otherwise, it's like mostly.
But if someone is stuck in a slow company, how will they leave to fast-paced company? How great is it? There is none.
So what people do, like they don't prefer people who are staying long term in such companies. If you are staying for 3 years, then switching to another company, then switching to some more company, still they'll prefer that resume. But if you are a long timer in companies like Microsoft, Adobe, at senior roles, not saying junior roles, senior roles they will mostly reject. Like if you're going for staff engineer.
Yeah, aligns with our news that came recently that TCS laid off a lot of people, 2000 something. I'm not sure of the stats again, but one thing was most of them were senior,
middle management people.
Yeah, and their argument was these guys are not even trying to adapt to new technology. They are rigid in what they know and what they don't know. They want to build software in that fashion. So we are kind of forced to do them. Things like that. So yeah.
Right.
Okay. Anything about Meesho you want to say?
So Meesho has been my workplace for the last 6 years, and I think it has a big part in what I am now, what I'm doing now, how I'm spending time, how my personality is, how I think about things. I've changed a lot after. Like if I say like IIT Kharagpur changed me a lot, but then after that Meesho also has a huge impact on my life and the way I see things, the way I've grown as a person, etc. Pretty happy with, I would say I was pretty lucky to land up at Meesho. Obviously, when I joined Meesho, I had no idea that I would be there for so long. When I joined Meesho, I was thinking that okay, maybe I'll spend 6 months here and try for the big 4. But then I saw how a startup is and what can a bunch of talented, driven, ambitious people can achieve. That really amazed me, and what really made me stay is I was challenged a lot. Like that really made it interesting. Like in FICO,
challenge how is that?
Like the pace at which people would be moving, like the brainstorming sessions that happen. Like if you are not attentive in the brainstorming, you won't be able to contribute. You won't connect the dots that they are at the fast pace that they are moving. Like if you miss 10 minutes of the discussion, they will be at some place and you would be thinking, well, how did they reach from here to there, and then you would be too afraid to ask. So you have to be attentive. With FICO, it was like if I even don't listen if I listen to the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes, I think I'll be That is I think one of the reasons that Meesho attracted me and made me stay. Even though obviously put me out of my comfort zone. I was very used to a certain kind of lifestyle in FICO.
When you say out of your comfort zone in terms of the amount of effort you put in, or how much you think you need, like what aspects, or
all of these aspects. All of these. Like if I'm in my comfort zone, I know how to do certain things. I don't have to put that much effort. But if something new comes my way, I'll have to first figure out how it is done. And for that, I'll have to read on stuff. Mostly another aspect was how socially active Meesho as a workplace was. Like in FICO, it's like people worked in silos. There was not much discussion. Everyone used to get something to work on, right? And
I think with this Meesho feels like more of a team, and that felt like more of a bunch of people working. They are working in their own silos. They are like having their own tasks, just completing it and going back to the
roles. Right. Not like there was not a lot of problems that was not ever solved before. Not those are problems that have been solved before. You just have to, you're doing a different flavor of it. While in Meesho, it's like something you're doing that no one has figured out. And you're just trying it out for the first time. And another thing, obviously, we were making it for India. In FICO, the client thing was I felt very disconnected because clients were banks, big banks. And the deployment cycle was also very lagging. It's not like it's a live app. Meesho, on the other hand, the clients were Indian people all around you, and it's live app. It can crash at 3 AM in the morning also. So that thing also keeps you on feet. So very stark differences, and I took some time to find my footing after joining Meesho. Initially, I was not doing well, and I used to just go at 9 a.m., come back at 5 p.m. And Meesho, the actual work started at 5 p.m. And we stay, people used to stay till 9, 10, 11 p.m. Most of them were bachelors. FICO, most of them were married with kids. So a lot of differences.
This siloed part that you said earlier, we come on that. So, do you ever feel is there a downside to being socially active? Like, how do you guys manage to have such insightful brainstorming sessions, like think deeply and all, and also remain socially active? Because if you're thinking somebody's poking you, you are not able to think right.
Right, okay. Yeah, I think that happens. Like people do complain, especially engineers, that they're not getting focus time. Right, it happens. But I think both we can strike a balance.
You can coexist.
Yeah, you can coexist.
Is that what you try to do as a manager also? I mean,
As
your
a
team mates.
manager, yeah. So interesting thing is like when we had asked people to come back to office. This was the first and biggest complaint of engineers mostly, that they won't be able to find focus time. Right? And what our CTO suggested is just get noise cancelling earphones. That was his suggestion. He said it very bluntly that is what we used to do pre-COVID. Like in startup environment, there would be just one desk and like 10, 20 people would be sitting.
Slightly disagreeing with your CTO. People might have said that because after working for a lot of years from office and then working for 2 years remotely, they might have found out that they are more productive when they are working from home. Like it might not be an excuse.
Yeah, but the company didn't find that. Like one of the reasons they said that we have to come back to office because you guys are not being productive as much.
That's how the company failed.
So yeah, that's what the company happens.
So basically what I feel about this whole work from home and remote debate is it depends on the people. We have seen great open source software built from people who are working across multiple countries, right? But they're building great software. So the dedication and the level of urgency that they're showing and the level of communication that they're doing, collaboration that they're doing, if that is good, this thing can work. But problem is when you come to real world, people are not that collaborative. If you don't, then bring them to the same place. For example, if I'm sending a text to someone, I am stuck here, please help me out or something, person will reply after 2 hours. So that friction happens and creates a lot of delays. The person who is very active, who responds, who collaborates, if I want a meeting now, everybody should join. If they're joining at the correct time, then remote would work great. But because these things are not working out. Company saw that, so they are asking people to come to office now. So it's a debate that can go on.
Maybe as a
Product and business are pretty okay because most of their work is
collaborative.
General discussion, collaboration.
So they are always okay with it.
Where engineers are coming from, like they do have a point because their work is mostly technically challenging, not technically challenging. It's like they have to think about a lot of things and write about themselves, right?
Yes. So for
that design or a complex code, you need some time to figure out experiment.
So for that, like some people have found ways to manage that. For example, I go to my office around 1 or 2 p.m. come back around 8:30 or 9. So the collaboration time would be from 1 to 6 to 9 is focus time. Some people do the opposite. They go early to office, 8 a.m. 8 to 12 is their focus time. After that, collaboration. So you have to find a balance in this changing work environment. Definitely. We have to find some kind of ways to operate this current setup.
And some time you devote to
homework
and then collaborate.
So now it's time to introduce the host himself, Mr. Rajesh Dalai, who has been on a streak of different areas, different jobs. Not just jobs but also startups. He has been the co-founder of a couple of startups at least, and now he's currently working as a senior software engineer or senior staff engineer. Senior staff engineer in a healthcare company called Locum. So yeah, Rajesh, please go ahead.
Sure, yeah, thanks. Just to make it clear, we all are batchmates, so same batch in IIT. So along with them, I also got placed in the same year. I got placed in PayPal which was also similar to the life was in Chennai. So for the first 6 months actually, so when I joined, the split between PayPal and eBay was on the news. It was about to happen. So what they did was they hired everyone for PayPal and eBay, the same like 20-30 people. And then after the split, they asked who wants to join PayPal, who wants to or something. Either that way, or I think who had joined which team accidentally just went to that company. Not sure what happened, but yeah, he got split somewhere after 6 months.
When were PayPal and eBay the same company?
They were till 2017. I mean, in
when
the
did they
inception,
start?
not sure.
I don't think they started as
No, they were different
Elon Musk
companies.
was not in
Yeah,
eBay, right?
yeah. eBay bought PayPal at one point, and then eBay itself thought that PayPal is getting bigger. And I mean, yeah, at some point,
eBay got PayPal.
eBay bought PayPal. Yeah. From I guess Musk and
PayPal Mafia.
PayPal Mafia.
So we'll fact check that.
Yeah, sure.
So,
But, yeah.
How did you find Chennai, and how was it different from Bangalore, since you also
Yeah,
stayed
yeah.
at both places?
But just to give like a bit more disclaimer on that, I have been in Chennai only for 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Yeah. That was just my training period. So after training, the team that I joined in was in Bangalore. So I didn't have to fight for it also. I just moved to Bangalore. That was it. And in Chennai, I was in IBIS. I was not in a society or rented society. So I was in a hotel, yeah. So again, my review would be different than someone who actually lived in Chennai. Like
You like just like the guest there.
yeah, just like guest there. So yeah, so I said all this discount because I like Chennai. I mean, my stay in Chennai for 6 weeks. Because I was having a luxury life. I was getting all the food right there without any cost and all. And the road, Sipot, I guess, Oima road, Sipot something. So that road itself was very like, I guess, 4-lane highway sort of thing. And then I can go very easily somewhere you want, even to the beach or to something big or the mall or somewhere. Well connected, not much traffic and all. Food was good. At least I like the food. One thing I felt an issue was in language. Not everyone understood English, and of course, but most of them did not understand Hindi. So I had to sometimes resort to sign language. Something like that. So
They won't understand English also.
like the local pawn shops where we used where you buy this local tea and all, they don't understand English, but other people do. It might be a slightly discrimination also. They might not want to speak English, they want you to learn Tamil. I'm not sure. I stayed too less to comment on that. But yeah, except that one thing, I felt good. Training was also good. In training, there was a guy called Ashok Kumar who had trained us for their 6 weeks. Like, it was like a 8-hour session every day. So he used to give us random tasks like you have to collaborate on a project and without talking to each other, finish a job. Like we are sitting nearby, but we cannot talk or chat with each other.
Right.
So how will you communicate? By using GitHub issues, basically, and all this. So he wanted us to learn those things. So he gave some tasks like this. So at that point, yeah, I tried to hack the system. I tried to like send by chat and all that because I could not do the way he wanted. But I realized why he was doing these things. So something is it taught me that like have stayed with me since till now. Like if you see a lot of comments in a code, then that means it's a bad code. Is what he had taught me. I mean, from there I thought.
Do you agree with
I
that?
agree with that a lot. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel that I think there is too much less information. It can happen that there is good discussion happening on their PR. Not all comments are.
No, not the PR
Restriction.
comments. When you are writing the code, you add comments, right?
Okay, yeah, okay.
Those comments.
Yes,
Code should be self-explanatory.
Self-explanatory.
That is the
Right.
So yeah, those kind of. And one he had a line that he used to speak often, write code that writes code. So you like write a template and then use that template to create more objects, something like that. So yes, some timeless principles he taught at that point. I didn't understand them, but I'm trying to revisit my memory, learn those things, and see how it.
Do you think after 5 years, software engineers will have this kind of talk, like related to code, like just code, like the whole beauty of writing code on your own?
Yeah, I think that talk. I think they will have. I just think that the topic will change. 15 years down the line, people might be discussing how to make more machine executable code or something. Like at a much lower level, memory allocation, reallocation, allocation, how to improve those things. They might be talking about those things. And we have just now assumed that Java, latest Java version, Python, or whatever, we assume we just do that, so we won't discuss those things. Our discussions have changed. What we focus on currently. So I think 10 years down the line, when everyone is used to using a AI agent or something to write code, they might not be discussing how to
This is about how to write prompts.
write codes.
Write prompt that writes prompts.
Yeah,
That is actually already being done.
already being done. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we might not like the taste of it, but it has still a process behind it. That is still engineering.
I know.
Yeah.
So after PayPal, what happened?
So yeah, PayPal I stayed for 2 years. I got promoted once one to 2, and I'll come to that later. But technically, that is the first and last function I have had till now. And after that, I felt like I wanted to start my own startup. Looking back, it was a bad idea. But at that point, it felt a very discipline because one thing was because I wanted to explore. I didn't have a lot of responsibilities.
And also I think you have that energy when you are like a fresher. When you're just trying to the industry, 1 or 2 years, you feel like
that I completely agree. I mean,
you can do that hustle and
what I used to put in was tremendous. Double of what I do in a day now. So that energy I wanted to channelize somewhere that will give you something more than a job.
Even though you can say that you work long hours now also, still you see.
I think the intensity would be higher.
Double of that.
Yeah, I will say the output of the work that I do has increased. I'm more efficient now. But the amount of physical effort I used to put was more. Because I used to go to office at around 10. Back at 2 p.m. I had to be
2 a.m. every day.
Not every day, but most of the days. Again, go sleep, wake up and go to office back. Go back to office.
Oh, okay.
And if I don't have any plans on weekend, I used to do the same thing on weekend also. But in the entire office, I might be sitting there. Yeah. Again, it all comes down to what life you have outside of this. So I didn't have a girlfriend. I had friends, but again, that was not my priority back then. To spend more time with them. My priority was just learn and do something. Because I was in electrical. And I used to look up onto CS guys. Not because they will get a more high paying job, but because they are studying something that I so badly wanted. I could not get. So yeah, kind of jealous, kind of missing out, FOMO, whatever you call it. So when that time, the opportunity came for me to write code, do something out of it, I just wanted to put my all in. Yeah. This is the moment that I got somehow.
And I think that initial 4 or 5 years of your career lays down the foundation for the rest of your career. If you are good at that phase, you will be good. Like the later part of career is just extending on that foundation.
But you didn't do that exactly. Thinking of starting a company, which is much different from writing code. Where did that and how did it?
So yeah, as I told that, like I wanted to do something just beyond a microservice that I'm writing. Okay. So that the idea of building an app that people use to actually solve a real world problem, that excited me a lot. Okay, like why will I just build a backend service and stick to it? Why not do something more end to end? And I have always loved building end to end for some reason. That I'm not sure. But because of these two reasons, to build a complete product, not just a backend front end, and also solve a problem. So the startup that I was going into was we had named it Cargo on Wheels. The plan was to solve logistics, pretty much how porter does now.
Right.
So you have a parcel to move, you come and he does that. That was the idea. So for that, yeah, I first wanted to leave. My manager told that you can take a sabbatical. I mean, you can work half the time. He was so happy with me that he gave me an offer. Take 3-4 months. Don't commit to 8 hours off. Come for 4 hours. The rest 4 hours you can do your own. I still said no because I wanted to give it my full. So I left. I gave my full, but my full was very less compared to what you need to build a startup. And back then I didn't have a co-founder also. So that happened for a bit. 6 months down the line, I accidentally found a roommate who was also doing a startup. We kind of merged together, and then I found another guy called Neeraj, who is currently a big guy in ultra-human startup. So yeah, it's a different story how we met. But again, I found people like-minded, and they were all they wanted to do something in the fitness space. So we kind of build a platform where basically we can go and book clubhouses of different people and do different kind of fitness classes, Zumba, CrossFit, strength, whatever we can do as a group class. And then the society people can come and join in that. That was the plan. We faced challenges as a business model. Investors told us that it will not scale beyond say 5 to 10 crores. How much can you get out of it? And again, it was a failed model in terms of Cult had tried to do the same thing. They had failed. It was called Cult Go back then. They had tried for 3 months to knock out the stock rate. So all the apprehensive about like if they invest money in it, what are they going to get out of it? And we tried to convince them saying that this is just something that we're doing now. Will eventually launch into divers into what Healthy Family also does, diet plans, consultation, fitness tracker, and all those things. But we didn't have any experience in those things, so they just thought that we are just saying things out without having a solid plan for it. So they were right, we didn't have anything. We were just saying that we could do this. Anyways, I didn't work out, so that's
I think you people had the motivation and that dedication to do it, but the business model or the revenue plan didn't pan out. Like the investors didn't see any clear
reason,
path to like
But
get
I don't think experience is the reason, because there are many people out of college who get funding on their ideas.
the biggest differentiator is like
What is a Meesho being one of those?
investors should
I think
see
mostly they didn't see the idea.
But that is something that actually astonishes me a lot. Like back then, I didn't know what it takes to build a company. Like the amount of discipline you need in maintaining your operations, your revenue, your budget, where you're spending things, what are you doing, having a timeline for everything. Be it product, be it marketing, be it sales. So someone as young as the founders of Zepto, like how did they figure out all these things? How did they manage to never let Zepto get into a situation where they cannot able to scale, to deliver customers, are getting a bad PR, just grow along with the company. As demand grew, they also mentally grew. They knew how to handle it just somehow. When they're so young. So yeah, I agree with you, but yeah, I'm not sure how people do it. I still don't know how. It's tough thing to run a company.
So how long this
This went on, This went on for 2 years. Then I literally ran out of money. So that then it was a hard stop for me with that kind of job. So I gave a couple of interviews. I worked for a couple of months into it. But then I eventually switched to Amazon as G2. Within Amazon, I moved to four different teams. I started off in a team called Global Selling, basically that handles cross-border transactions. I was in the payment side of it. We had two branches, payment and the actual logistics. Like how much volume, box you wrap in and all those things. That decided shipment cost and all that to minimize those kind of things. So those team handled that. The half of the team handled those things, and the other half handled the payments, cross-border payments, taxes, reconciliation, So I was in the payment side. So it was good. I mean, it was very tedious job in terms of figuring out on this nitty-gritty of payments and understanding the business aspect of it to solve to solve it technically by using a Python script. So, I mean, the technical part was easy, but
This part was complicated.
that is complicated. So I spent more time in that. Even though I knew that this is just what I'm doing now, it's not going to do something I'll stay on forever. So yeah, it was there.
After Amazon?
And after this team,
Okay, this team, yeah.
I worked for fulfillment center, US fulfillment center remotely. I wanted to move to US, but because of COVID and Mr. Donald Trump, I could not, and then I
What were you working specifically in the fulfillment center?
So our team was focused on reducing the number of returns Amazon gets
Okay.
by predicting it that this might be a potential return. Okay.
So you just cancel the order.
No, you cross verify the order. So the thing is, say in a warehouse, in a fulfillment center, you have 15 people who are managing all the shipments, all the deliveries. So they don't have the human capacity or volume to physically cross-examine each of the boxes. Okay, they just bought a slip. Like say you have ordered a tablet that's in rack, this rack. So go and get 2 quantities of it and ship it. Okay. Now it might be so that you are thinking that it box contains 2, it might be containing 4, it might be containing 1, it might be containing something else itself, or even a tablet. So they don't check and verify and then do it. They just ship it, assuming that they have bought the right order. Okay. So now because it might be wrong and you get a return, that return journey costs Amazon a lot, like in millions or billions, I guess. So they want to reduce it. So if they can predict which kind of packages at one specific place from one specific location, if they're coming, they have more chance of getting returned. So you can really predict by ML those things, ask them to verify those things, and then if they are defective, then
So what was the strength of your team that did the
started off, yeah. So I mean the way I joined there was this was a new team being set up in US. My manager who was in India was shifted to US. He was the one who was setting up this team, and I was the first engineer hired in this team by default because I was in before also. So it was easy for me. And then the rest of the guys came from other. They were mostly I guess US. Couple of Indian guys also. Yeah.
I was saying because just to put in scale, the whole returns engineering team of Meesho, the whole team manages everything of return.
Okay.
Like you just manage the part that is like a feature in our for us.
Okay.
So the whole returns team would be during that time around 8 people. And before that there was no returns team as well. It was just one logistics team. So I'm just saying like Amazon is miles ahead of Meesho in terms of
Number of people.
people working and the scale also, I guess.
It also will be higher.
How mature the ecosystem is.
Yeah.
For us, we're still.
I mean, if you're comparing that, I will say even more because I'm just saying we were one of 8 to 10 teams in the world.
Right.
We're handling different parts of it. Like not all were predicting returns, but they were all predicting different kinds of things like how to optimize the racks. Like I was saying, where should each shipment go to which warehouse if there are multiple options of warehouse. The delivery route and all that. So they had different options.
We're just starting to get into warehouse. We didn't even have a warehouse until.
You're saying on which year? You're starting now.
Warehouse thing.
Starting
Now
now.
we're starting.
Okay.
Like last year we started
Okay.
warehouse as a service.
So now that team of 8 has grown how much?
Now it would be, let's say, 15 people, I guess.
15 people.
Return and exchange.
It's still
Return and exchange.
return and exchange. Cool. So it is still very efficient. 15 people handling. What would be the volume of return and exchange?
10% of
Total sales
it's like 6 to 7 lakhs per day.
of return and exchange.
Returns and exchanges. Yeah, like after so you like when you switched from Intuit to Amazon, do you think that was the right call?
That was the right call. Yeah, I think. Yeah, definitely. For me, it was for sure because in Intuit, I had just got the role to migrate some services from. They were moving from ISP in-house provider with them their own infra to AWS. So my job was to migrate some of those services.
Right.
Definitely boring. You still have learning in those things, and eventually, if I had stayed there, I might have got better roles, better work. Not sure. But yeah, in terms of problem solving, at least what opportunity you get at Amazon, it's much better than what you will ever get at Intuit.
And I think like in Amazon, that US team that you mentioned, how long you worked there?
How long I was there? US team. Yeah. I don't think I last one.
Yeah.
So I stayed there for 1 year. Around 1 year, I could not go for some reasons. I just worked remotely. Then I got married. So my wife was studying in UK. So I changed my plans and I moved to UK instead. Then I found a team that was working in Alexa. Yeah. So it solved two things for me. Three things for me. One is I wanted to move out of Bangalore for some time, just doing something else.
Other places.
I wanted to work in ML domain,
Okay.
or natural language domain, instead of something else. And I wanted to do things. So yeah, that's why I moved to UK. And again, one good thing about Amazon, at least back then, was it's easy to move switch teams.
Yes.
So wherever they have a presence,
You
and
can-
wherever they allow, like they might not allow you to Israel or Russia or something, but wherever it's easy to go as a country in terms of passport and all, yeah, can go. So yeah, it was quite a smooth ride for me to go to UK. I stayed there for 2 years. Again, half of it was Amazon, then I moved to a startup, legal startup. So I moved there because I was feeling stuck in a work or in a culture where I don't exactly suit. I felt they want you to be good in all regards.
Yes.
Like they want you to be good in your own work, in reading others' work, in communicating properly, in documenting everything very well. In disagreeing often, so they have people disagreeing. Like wherever you have meeting going on, disagree, like argue, and all those things, put your points and come into a decision. So basically, they want you to be involved a lot in everything that you can be a part of, not just the things that are assigned to you. Okay. So it is good, but the thing is, if you are not good in some of those things, it is very difficult for you to progress. You'll be stuck in the same role, you will do the same things over and over. And just because you are bad in some of those areas, they will never let you to go higher level. So yeah, I didn't find that good for my career long term. That's why I switched to again a startup.
I think startup is the place where you find your mojo. Like,
I wish I tried to find my mojo. I'm still trying to find my actual mojo. But yeah, and I also startup gives me a place to freely find my mojo.
yeah, you have the freedom to build everything.
Navigate, explore a lot, So, but here again, the con that I would say is if you move to an early stage startup, scale is not there. You're building things, but they will not break unless they break. You'll not know how to what to improve and all that. So that's a trade-off. 0 to 1, 1 to 100, they're all different journeys. I have mostly been 0 to 1. The current one that I'm doing now, Loka, is I would say is now going from 0 to 1 to 1 to 100. We're getting more and more customers. Now things are breaking, not because they are logically wrong, but because they are breaking at scale. I have not built to that level or something. So now I'm venturing into those kind of problems myself. I mean, I have handled those kind of things at Amazon on paper, but I have had help from seniors who are actually directing me into how to fix it. And all that. This is the first time I'm actually thinking and fixing it myself. So yeah, even after 10 years, I'm still doing it the first time. So there are a lot of things to learn from. So yeah, that's where I am. Okay. Now let's move on to a bit about what happens outside of work and how it happens and what things trigger it. Okay, so context, we all live in Bangalore. We all live in predominantly the same area, almost. In terms of the travel, it's a bit different for each of us. But again, it is similar to what most of the people face here. Yes. So I'm putting the question out in open. So one is, how does you have mentioned it earlier that you moved to Bangalore because you were competitive and all.
Yes.
So like when you had that thing in mind, first of all, if you go to the basics, why exactly Bangalore? Why not Hyderabad? Why not Pune? Why not somewhere else? Like how much of challenge is good enough challenge for you to move to a city, leave your comfort zone, go there and all. And second thing is, say you have the freedom to just leave your biases, insecurity, fear and everything, and just unbiasedly, logically, as an AI, you have to pick a city to live in. Okay, what would be your parameters? Like, what would you think? Should I do this and things? That's the thing. I mean, which current city that you feel in the world is close to your ideal city and all. We'll come back to Bangalore. But once I first want to figure out what your ideal workplace, living place would look like.
I think I would nominate Bay Area to be the ideal place for any engineer, because apart from the salary part, there is like a lot of innovation happening. That is the place where you can actually build things which can change the world, as we have seen recently with OpenAI, right? So they build something that completely changed the world that we are living in. So I have heard stories of people who are so much dedicated to their mission, they are living like $1 billion paychecks. Yeah, that's true.
They're living $1 billion paychecks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there is a company called Thinking Machines Lab, founded by Mira Murthy from ex-OpenAI. So Beta offered few people from that company, that's a rumor, I don't know whether it is how much real it is.
Okay. Yeah,
But they are getting $100 million paychecks, but they are still not leaving the company because they believe in this mission, and they believe if they stay in this company, that company can become the next OpenAI, and they can gain the benefits in terms of equity, right? So they are believing in that mission, and they truly believe the founder and their philosophy, which they might not be aligned.
There are two things here. So they believe in the founder and philosophy, that's why they are staying, or they believe that this will give them more money.
I don't think money is a constraint for them, because you are betting on future valuation of some company.
If somebody is offering you millions of dollars to do kind of the same thing in a different company.
But problem is they will believe they are having that.
Is it because of the
freedom
or
around Meta? Yeah, that is one factor. Because people say ki Mark will be very micromanaging these people.
A slight tangent here. Why does Mark have so much of negative publicity? Because let me put my point first. Whatever he has tried to reproduce, be it reels on TikTok, be it stories from Snapchat, people have laughed at it, mocked at it, but they have worked. Maybe not to that level that they do, but it has worked for the business of Facebook and Instagram and Meta as a whole. So when he can replicate things, sometimes he fails, but most often it does not. And he is giving you a space with money to replicate in your own way, but still build something from scratch. That is up to the level of everything else. So why is that not a thing good enough that some?
I think we don't have the enough context to comment on that, but people are working there and they have their colleagues, and that tech community networking definitely is there. So they have some bad impression about Mark. Maybe he is micromanaging, maybe he is asking people to he's enforcing his decisions on them. It can be anything, we don't know. Maybe he's not giving enough freedom to work, not giving enough time to deliver something. It can be anything. But in general, the perspective is that Meta, people don't want to join because of the culture. They want to join because of the paycheck.
Even you, if you got a choice to work at OpenAI or
Meta,
you would choose OpenAI.
I will do first align myself with the culture, the people over there. If I feel that they are matching my long-term vision and they are actually building something good, not just faking it, so I will consider joining OpenAI compared to Meta, because the stocks and equity that they will be giving would be comparable. So paycheck wise, they are both similar. But then you have to see the vision and culture. That is what will differentiate.
I think like out of like we go to the same different topic, or can I?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Like I have a slightly different angle. Like I'm talking about my Mark is considered evil about the general public. I think you're right. Like his business is doing fine. So that's why he's still the CEO of like the board of directors of Meta are pretty happy with him, and also the shareholders are pretty happy with him because being a public company, he's under. So yeah, the board of directors of Meta are pretty happy with Mark. Otherwise, I think he would have been fired if they didn't perform. The shareholders are also, I think, pretty happy now. Like Facebook, after the dip that happened because of those.
I think metaverse and all that.
Metaverse came after that, but what had happened? That's controversy.
Stop it, is it?
So
I think he's reputation dip.
allegation that he had helped Trump with his first presidency.
Yeah, okay.
There was some
Allegations.
allegations
Some-
that he had
some-
Kind of leaks.
right, something like that. So after that, he has again bounced back. Okay. I'm sure that whatever he has
Yeah, I think he's
the
a
people
good.
like he has bad position in the general public
Yeah.
who comes in average human is pretty tough. So I think they just see the like the superficial aspect of it. Like Mark is maybe socially awkward. He has weird eyes, so they catch on to that and they make it look like fit in the stereotype. And he's the evil capitalist.
That is what he's also playing at, right? He knows that your physical perception matters.
Yeah, he's improving
This
that.
entire PR is built around
Right.
those.
So he has that's what I said. He has bounced back.
Yeah.
Like playing kickboxing, violin or whatever he is doing. So yeah, whatever he is.
That will beat every other logic. No matter where you are, what you do, because your friends are here, family are, so that's why you're here. Okay, so we can't argue then unbiasedly. What city
Is the ideal place.
That's why let's try to imagine for some minutes now that this is not the restricting factor. Having family and friends. When you're choosing a city, I get that technical innovation, the kind of people you work with matters a lot. What else? What else will you do for move to a country or to a city to live?
That will be the ideal city.
The reason again I'm asking now is because as the segments we are trying to cover now is outside of work. Okay, so what obviously is
So
the
it
main
will have
factor
some
in-
subjectivity.
Ah,
So it will have some subjectivity, like what I like.
that is what I want to
Okay.
go into. What is your subjectivity?
For me, I think even though maybe it's like still in my head, like how I think because I haven't really experienced it, but I like the idea of it. Maybe. But like a city like New York,
Like New York.
right? I think that would be my go-to because like it has such a rich culture of like different cultures being there in one melting pot, and such a even like if you need high speed, high pace life, you will get it. All like I feel it has all flavors. Even people who like, and it's like it's said that if you are pretty, go to LA. If you are smart, go to New York. So New York doesn't just have geeky kind of smart. Huh?
Say it again.
If you are pretty, go to LA because Hollywood is.
Hollywood.
If you are smart, go to New York. So New York is not just geeky kind of smart. There's all kinds of smart. Like there are the best lawyers of the world and New York, I think.
Best bankers.
Also, finance capital of
Finance.
USA.
Not just finance. Also some aspect of tech is also there. Tech startups, lawyers are there, right? Businesses are, I think, really thriving
So
businesses.
what then sets apart? Why did this thing again inside US also? Why did this thing happen somewhere like say California or Texas or somewhere else? Why did it happen in
Why?
Yeah.
It happened in New York.
I think because of historical reasons, New York was a port.
Right.
from the early days when Britishers used to.
Okay, maybe not that. My question was, what enables a city to have
That is what I think
so many things?
history matters. For example, in
You
India,
have good finance, you have good tech. you
Mumbai can be the equivalent of New York in India if we
have- Okay.
take analogy. So
then why
Mumbai,
didn't you want to go to Mumbai?
Like if there is no restriction of family, like you said, it can be anywhere in the world. So I think, like on a absolute scale, New York would truck Mumbai.
In terms of the
In terms of the way the cosmopolitan
Nature.
aspect of it, like I think Mumbai still predominantly has Indians.
yeah.
There will be foreigners, but not on the level of
New York.
on the level of New York.
Okay.
And like, Mumbai is still on a national level, good tier 1 city. It is a first level tier 1 city. So there are bad things to it. Again, I like the idea of it. I haven't stayed there.
I'm just saying, just going with the idea of it. If you tomorrow shift to New York, how will you utilize this aspect of cosmopolitan? How will that benefit? Or how will
I
that
think my
benefit your
social
life?
circle will change, probably. Like even that aspect is something that I've seen happening in Mumbai as well. Like Mumbai is good for. I used to go for these walks on evening sunset walks just outside the place I was living. I could see like really different kinds of people doing really different interesting things on the street, and they're very open to interacting also. In Bangalore, on the opposite hand, I find everyone a very homogeneous type of crowd, and maybe the language, the thing is also there, but it's hard to like just find interesting people to interact with. I think it's easier.
There you have actors, lyricists, tech guys,
Right.
different kinds of people from different segments of life.
Segments of life. You can meet sports persons, you can meet actors, you can meet writers. You get a lot of perspective if you stay in such a metropolitan
That is how it helps you to
grow. It helps you build the perspective also about the world. So yeah, that is interesting.
What about you?
My choice would be somewhere like somewhere in Spain, maybe Barcelona. So from my experience, what I have felt is personally I don't want to hustle a lot. Like I want to hustle when I want, not because I want to hustle because the environment demands me to hustle. I'm in a place, I'm in a city, I'm in an environment where everyone is doing it. That's why I have to do it. I don't want that thing in my life. That's why I want to get that city. And the second thing is, I think one thing I felt in very big metro cities like New York, Mumbai, state in California, the amount of money you have determines the amount of luxury you get. The more you have, the more you can get. Okay. So one thing I feel is obviously at the point that I don't have so much in life. I am rich enough to fulfill my needs, have a bit more luxury on that. Not a lot beyond that. So if I move to a city like New York, California, say, then I can aspire to be a lot more. Then I'm here, the skyscraper is here in terms of the richness you can get. So I'll keep on aspiring more and more and more. Now if I move to Madrid, say somewhere, no, maybe not exactly Madrid, some city in Spain, I'm not sure where. So if I am this much rich, the average guy might be this much rich, or maybe less, or the richest guy might be like. So my point is, I will not aspire to be a lot more richer because nobody near me is rich. Okay, so I'll do things that actually make me happy, not because I have to earn more money. So that idea fancies me a lot. I haven't led. I somewhat led that life for a few years in UK. I was in a very small town. But no matter how rich or poor you are, the options you get the same. So I lived that life a little bit and I enjoyed it. So yeah, I like the idea of it. If I had a choice, I might sit somewhere there. Okay, and we will not go to the usual suspects of Bangalore, traffic, air pollution to some extent, and all those things. In anything else, even the roads, let's not go into that also. Anything else that you feel now you have all said about a dream or ideal city, anything that you feel that we lack here, we could have had those things here, that would have made living Bangalore a much better place than is now. Something missing.
Can't just say about like public community.
You can say, but I mean, the thing is, we
Public
all agree on that.
Much if metro had been built much earlier, that would have helped a lot. Not specifically roads. I don't think roads are the answer.
Yeah.
Better roads are the answer.
Better infrastructure, better public transport. So all these things are definitely lacking. So that would have made things
And that
better.
also helps them in getting more efficient, right?
Yes,
I
yes.
think a lot of the time that we guys waste on is in traffic.
Right.
And all those things.
Right.
So we could have innovated more, we could have developed more, we could have been more peaceful, not working relentlessly or in the community.
Right.
So apart from that traffic and infrastructure part, city itself is pretty good and very welcoming. I feel there is a huge talent pool, and you'll find like-minded people here who will share their learnings, and they will have nice conversations around tech engineering. I have been part of few meetups in Bangalore, so where I had discussions with people who share the same interests. So it is very nice place for a person.
Well, that statistically, one question. How much of people do you feel are here working as software engineers only because that is the only source of money they can earn, the job they can get? That's why they're doing it. And how much of them are actually passionate about it, learning something beyond their work? Because when I see the average tech guy here going to office or working on something, and because of the stress in life, because of whatever issues are coming to whatever you say, I never find someone going excitedly to office or speaking something excited about work at a random cafe or somewhere. I've hardly found people like someone who might be there from Meesho or something, or Amazon or InMobi, and is passionately saying, "Oh, I saw this problem, I'm at this thing." Right? What am I missing? Like, why don't I find that vibe?
I think
like HSR and the places that are known for startups should be able to find out. I found them quite good. Like that is what interests me about Bangalore.
Do you find that?
Cafe? Like it has, I don't know the kind of cafes you need to go to. Like which are mostly the effort places for just people who are like entrepreneur. Mostly those people, not maybe employees.
Like, that's why I specifically told about companies. Startups I have seen.
Right.
But I've never seen someone from a big company solving a good product. See, again, it is just, I think, a general conception that if you are in a startup, if you are a founder, you are solving the hard problems. Okay. Like that, after working so much, we will all agree on that. In a big company, you solve the harder problems at the tech time. Right. Not negative business at the tech time. So yeah, so even if you are solving a big and harder problems, why are you not enthusiastic about it?
I think there are people, so we have to find the right forum for it. For example, the one I went recently, there were people from Cloudera and Hortonworks. So these are companies that are solving deep tech problems. There were people from Databricks. So the people who are working there, they have very good insight on the technical side of things, aspect of things. And they share those things in meets and these talks, conferences. So there are lots of conferences.
That's where they share.
That's where they share. It's like a closed space. If you are part of that community, you will get to know. Otherwise, you will be left out.
Okay.
So you have to actively engage yourself, connect, network. If once you become part of that network, then maybe you can easily get the updates.
So say I am again a Nikhil Raman style. Say I am a new tech software engineer. Recently become software engineer. And I'm going to Bangalore. Would you convince me or motivate me to go to such big conferences? Spend my time there.
I wouldn't, because first thing, as a fresher or as a beginner engineer, you should focus on building your basics and foundation. Because if that is not strong, learning all these things won't help you much.
These are add-ons.
These are add-ons. These are something you should know as you grow in your career. But as a beginner, you should have your foundations very strong. Like you should be good at what you do. You should be like able to finish the task that you have been given at the company. So company itself, first 1 or 2 years or 3 years, is a good place for learning. You don't need to go to these meetups and all that. Once you reach a level, you have understood the basics. You are very good at those things. Then to upgrade yourself or to like know how others people are solving tech problems in their company, then you can go and attend the meetups, give talks by yourself. So that helps. But as a fresher, I would recommend to focus on the basics, do your job, and build your interests. Like figure out what you want to do. You want to be a data scientist or a front-end engineer or a DevOps. Figure all those things out, sort out your life. Once you are stable, then you can be part of these communities. People do open source contribution also, but for that you have to build your basics, because open source people won't just like that accept you. You have to show something. Yeah.
Felix, so you were when you were an engineer, you were bachelor, and I guess when you were married, you mostly a manager. So two things changed for you at the same time: your job, and your life. So yeah, I mean, how was it? I mean, if you tell me the highlights of it.
Honestly, marriage was actually the lesser eventful change in my life.
Why so?
Because I have been staying in a living relationship before that, the same house, the same flat. I just got married, came back to the same flat. There was not much difference pre-marriage and post-marriage for me. Something's changed, like there was been more of a family now.
But then let's talk about pre-living and post-living.
Okay, yeah. So then, like post-living also, I have been a tech lead
Quite some
for
time.
some time, and then I became a manager. But yeah, like if you were to actually,
And why did you
That's
make that
nice.
change from tech lead to manager?
like that was the
Natural progress.
natural progress. I mean, you said like you were asking why did I go for architecture? Yeah, I felt like given the company I was in and the kind of talent required to become a manager and the kind of talent required to become an architect. For an architect, I felt that I had to push a lot more. Like I had to learn a lot of, I had to be a lot more technically strong. But I felt like for a manager, some things I am naturally good at. Those skills are also much required in a manager. It's for me, I felt like I should play to my strengths and not do something that I'm not good at, but maybe that's like the natural thing that I have been doing. The manager was a big switch to my actual the things that I do. But I felt that the tech lead have been doing that for some in some aspect, and felt that I would be better at that. So hence I chose to become a manager rather than an architect.
So if someone is in your footsteps, he is a tech lead, say, now he is confused about switching to a managerial role or staying in that career, getting an architect. So how will you advise that person to judge himself and his likes and dislikes to make a good decision on that? Because it is, I mean, it is reversible, but it is almost practically reversible, right? If you become a manager, it's very hard for you to come back to a tech role.
Right.
If you have gone beyond a point to in the tech role, it's completely difficult for you to switch to a lateral level managerial role.
Right.
So once you take a role, you cannot go back, I guess. Right. So that's what I want to understand. Like, how will you advise someone that figure out these things? If you're good in this, do this. If you're good in that, do that. I think insights on that.
So for a manager, I think the most important thing is you have to think about your report is more than you think about yourself. And by that, you are actually doing your job. That is your job, basically.
So you enable them to do their job.
You enable them. And I have found out that people who are extremely well performing in the IC roles, they tend to control every aspect of their work. They find it difficult to delegate. Even if to delegate, they try to micromanage, which is a very problematic thing for a manager. By being a manager, you have to let go of that control, let things run, and but still have so much control that you can jump in when there's a fire and still prevent the fire from happening. So obviously it's not just about fire and forget, but also
philosophical यहाँ पे, but how is your nature in life? You can also contribute there. I'm asking in general. So how is your that behavior in life? How much you're controlling your life? Say in any relationship with your partner, with your family, friends, anyone. Did the discipline there change you, or did your discipline there change that? Are they interlinked or not at all? No. As you have told this earlier in your intro, that Meesho has changed you a lot.
yeah.
Okay. So it is a part of change. Like how did it happen eventually? If you go and reflect for 5 minutes, what were you when you joined Meesho from like what are you now?
So yeah, like obviously like being a manager, the negative correlation that there is with the term manager was something that even I had when I was a developer. Like, I never thought when I was an SD that I would become a manager. Like I don't think most of the folks I think would think that they will continue what they are doing. They will never think of switching.
And that is because at that point you think, and we all think that the one who is creating the code or software should have the maximum credit.
Right. Yeah, that also I give too much importance to the code that is like it's. But later I understood the business is not because of the code, but the code is because of the business. The business is a.
How did it change?
So that changed when in Meesho actually.
Yeah,
because.
A gradually change.
There was not a tipping point or aha moment. Gradually changed, but more towards when I was a tech lead and I started looking at things beyond product.
Right.
I started seeing how product influences business. Like, and product is only just a part of business. There are a lot of things, and particularly because I'm in a domain where it's ops heavy, fulfillment, logistics domain, supply chain domain, pretty ops heavy. Maybe I would have had a different POV if I was in tracking team or searching, which are more tech heavy. My job is ops heavy and I have been in this role for 6 years. My thoughts are obviously influenced by that fact that I have much more respect for different aspects of different verticals like product and business than I used to before. I thought before I had this notion that if there's no code, what will anyone even do? Okay, so, and the other question you asked, I think being a manager obviously has changed me as a person, because being a manager I was forced to do some things or think about some things, and the way to do these things is basically letting control go or being able to run multi-threaded things. This flow aspect, the whole thing about flow, the whole concept of flow is if you give the right amount of effort to the right difficulty of a problem, there's always a match between difficulty of the problem and the mental effort you should give it. The match, they give you a flow sort of way.
I think
you get disappointed and you don't too easy.
I would like to give an analogy of F1 here. Like I read somewhere a quote ki slow is smooth and smooth is fast. So this is quite applicable to
slow is
smooth is fast.
It was in the F1 movie that you watched.
You don't have to rush things. If you rush means you will do more mistakes. More mistakes means it will delay the things.
Right.
So if you do in a focused way, precise way, you will be fast. You will deliver better.
It is actually the fastest.
Yeah,
It
right.
might not look like it.
So as a manager, you have to understand that
You also lead a few people. I mean, at least.
I am a tech lead
Yeah.
currently. I'm like planning to become a staff engineer or architect, as they say. So
Yeah,
I feel the role of a manager is quite important in a team, because if the manager is not right, the people reporting to him become demotivated. They start looking out for jobs and they feel they are
someone said, right, you don't leave a bad company, you leave a
no bad manager. So manager role is like very critical, because that is a person who is orchestrating the things.
Right.
If any, like, you have to handle a good talented person, you have to handle a person who is not that talented, you have to bring him up to match the level with the entire team. Quite a difficult role, needs a lot of skills and like a lot of empathy. And yeah, so I would say it is one of the most critical roles that can be in an
So
engineering.
why didn't you think the same, that you wanted to be a manager and not?
Actually, I'm very bad at reading people and like understanding what their real needs are. So what are their
That can be solved, right? You
can be done, but until now, like, I have not been very good at it. So that makes me think I would do a very bad job being a manager. So why to be a manager and like because now you are not responsible for yourself. You are responsible for the people reporting to you also. You don't want to spoil their career, right? Somebody might
even
be.
from your nature of both of you, what I have observed is like you, Rakesh, is someone who has a lot of discipline in life. Okay. If I point out if some things that I have seen ideally at marriage, you log a lot of things that normally very few people will do. Like say the calories you eat, the workout you do. Okay, sometimes you even have a log of your bike riding journal and all those things. People have memories, but the maximum they do is take a photo. That's it. But you make it very professional. I mean, you kind of maintain a format for it. You write everything down. And that helps you in managing 40-30 people that you're doing now, because you keep writing different points for each one of them. So when the time comes to have one-on-one, find out different things, to think if to promote them or not, to have all the data on their different build upon. So in that discipline in life, either that came from work or what happened good because of that.
Discipline.
I'm not sure, but I think your nature as a person is a lot of discipline than normal people.
So how that came into it was not before, like when I was in college I didn't used to
Do all these
do
things.
all this.
Okay.
But I had realized then that my retaining power is pretty poor than the people around me. Like for me to retain the memory and being able to remember is pretty poor. So that is why I started. And like I have seen people who would instantly remember what they did before.
Yeah.
So that for me felt like I should, if I'm not able to remember it, I should simply write it down. That is what triggered this, and then I felt this helped me a lot. Like this was a weakness that I had, and to overcome that weakness.
This eventually becomes a weakness for everyone. Even the ones that we are saying about now, the super genius ideas we had. Who could remember almost anything. At one point, the memory will break because the information, amount of information we have or can consume is not
Is limited.
beyond the capability of any human.
Right.
Okay, even Sam Altman or somebody else.
Yes.
So like everyone has at some point has to have the habit of noting down things. Yeah, okay. I think that became a superpower and that helped you
Right.
become good manager. And you have seen you have a lot of insight and deep diving.
Yes.
And when you have focus on one thing, you go more and more
Detailed. I do a deep dive and
that is why you have been a good quizzer in IIT.
in past
Right?
year.
Because you need to have a lot of depth
I have that
knowledge.
inherent curiosity to sometimes I go into a rabbit hole of exploring Wikipedia articles or Reddit subreddits and all. So that helps me in my work as well.
Yeah.
That curiosity, because if I go into something technically, I'll do a deep dive. I'll understand it fully, and because that aspect is needed if you want to become a staff engineer. You just can't be having. You need to have the breadth, but you also need the depth
Depth
in
and
few
something.
things which you are very good at. That will definitely add to you. So I always aspire and look up to people who have been good staff engineers in my company and other companies as well.
They all have
So they all have this common trait. They are good at something very good, and they have the breadth of they cover all the bases. So for example, one guy whom I worked with, he was very good at ML and ML systems. So he was a backend engineer who learned the ML skills, which is supposed to be a work of a data scientist, but still to put the effort and understood it, and it is helping him in his day-to-day life career as well, because he's able to understand ML systems. He is able to understand what is happening inside TensorFlow or PyTorch. So like it helps you to build an expertise, and wherever you go, you can be a expert of that field and grow in your career. So I have also focused, looking at them, like I have also focused on the things I'm good at. I have built that depth. And
You didn't do that initially, right? Because you switched a lot of companies and domains.
yes, so initially my goal was to like
Get that breadth.
as well as like
Explore.
maximize my opportunities. Go to a company where you are most comfortable, find and so somehow, like in the current role at InMobi, I found that place. I'm quite stable now, and I feel that this is a place where I can grow in my career, and I have good amount of opportunities to work, good bunch of people to work with. So all that thing just came into place at InMobi, and I felt I should stick here.